So what happened was, when I was changing the oil, everything went well until I put the drain plugs back on and the magnetic, put it by hand, and then when I went to Torx it, I saw that there was no, it just kept going and going and going. So I was trying to get a feel for it, but it just never tightened enough. I felt a tiny bit of resistance, so I left it alone. And then I hadn't dropped the oil in yet, so I went ahead and tried to see if I could reverse it, but it was not coming out. To get to the oil pan cover, there's this plastic cover that's underneath there. If you've looked under your Ryker before, you've seen this cover there before. It's covering up the oil pan cover. It has 4 of these little plastic things holding it on the side and some zip ties. So you gotta do is cut the zip ties and then just pull these plugs from the side of the cover, and the cover comes right off. That's it. And then that exposes the oil pan cover. New oil pan. All right, I had to order a new gasket. There's the old gasket on here. I'm not gonna reuse that, so I have a new gasket here. And this is probably gonna be an easier install than some of the models that I've actually done on it, because the truth is that it's only 17 bolts around it, and only 2 go here in the middle, which I left those 2 for the end. So I took everything around off, and then I started with those, and when I had the one left, I kept my hand on it, and it just came down easily. So as far as draining the oil, I know that I had at least 3 quarts of oil in there. So I took the secondary plug, which is a smaller plug. I had already ran the Ryker to temperature, and when I took the secondary plug out, I started getting some oil drip. Obviously I couldn't take the magnetic plug because it's stripped in there, but I know that there was enough oil in there that I had to try to get out, because if I just took the 17 screws off, it was gonna be a mess. So I cycled the Ryker on, and for like 3 seconds, shut it down, and oil started coming out the secondary plug again. I did that, and then I cycled it on again, and I just continued to do that until I got no more oil coming out. I had it in a 6-quart container, so I knew that once that got half filled, I had at least 3 quarts. One of the times that I ran it, I got very minimum oil, so I was confident enough that I had drained all the oil through the secondary plug. And when I did take it down, I barely got any oil in here. So that's the way to empty out your oil pan. If you can't drain one or the other, you should be able to cycle it through. Again, this is all just informational, educational. You don't have to do what I do, because I am no mechanic, but that's what worked for me to get the oil out of the Ryker. The list of what I ordered versus taking it to the dealer. So the gasket was $14, and the flank Torx, a drain plug, another flank Torx. I ended up just ordering an extra screw, one of these here, just in case I stripped one of those. So I got an extra one of those. I ended up getting a new magnetic drain plug, a secondary plug, the gasket, brand new gasket. The cover was about $88. So about 146 bucks with the shipping for just parts. This I picked up at the dealership, and this came out to $70.20. All right, let's do the math. A little bit over $200 plus my time. I think it's well worth it than taking it to the dealership. It would be there for a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sure I would end up paying about $600 or $700 just in labor. So when you remove this cover here, just know that it has these 3 filters, and they go on these little 3 holes like that. And then I'm just gonna put this back in. So I'm just gonna reverse everything into this one here, and I'm just gonna put the filters back on there. That's pretty much the way it should look. Once you put the new gasket on, throw the 3 filters back on, and then you're just gonna kind of hold it in place and start putting back the screws on it, and that should be fairly quick.